But this is a very, very, very important part. And I
Yeah.
think for everyone. And Roy's going to
Yes.
think-
Sorry.
Roy's going to introduce himself, I think, and what's his message all about. Cool. So, yeah. How was the Norwegian chocolate, by the way? Oh, yes. Very good.
Okay, thank you, Roy.
Thanks, team. Thanks, everyone. So super excited for this little bit of this session. We're going to try and make it a little interactive and do some stuff, and we're going to try and go a little quicker because we want to kind of catch up a bit of time. So just to say though, Jace, so proud of you, mate. It's been beautiful to see God's hand on your life, and my heart is so full of joy seeing what you and Michaela are doing. It's something real special. So, okay, so this is not a talk, it's not a preach. I want us to think and imagine it kind of like we're in a locker room and we've got a game to play. And there's a little thing called the World Cup. So I'm going to use rugby as an analogy. I know no analogy is perfect, but it'll come in and out of this talk. So Christian surfers, why? Why is there Christian surfers? What is the point? That is the first thing. And I think almost there's a couple of folk I'm going to get to come up and almost see them as our coaches, and we're going out and we want to win. And the thing about Christian surfers is that it's not something that man thought up. This was in the heart of God. And if I have to go back to France in 2004, at this very campsite, there's this moment that takes place. Things are a little bit wild and woolly, and there's worship happening. And Britt Merrick has just finished to preach, and he's preached about reach your tribe. What tribe is God calling you to reach? Now, it might sound obvious to you, but for me, as a South African, I'm thinking, we have 12 official languages. You should have seen the discussion when they said we must shout out a greeting. We were like, well, in which language? So I'm thinking, is it the Xhosa, the Pedi, the Zulu, the Tswana, the Afrikaans? Like, I'm going, Lord, like, whatever tribe, I'm ready to go, but you got to be more specific. Which tribe are you calling me to reach? And then worship's carrying on, and Brett Davis, the founder of our movement, walks up, and he puts his hand on my shoulder, and he points to this hall of 70 people worshiping God or whatever it was, and he says, Roy, that is the pearl of great price. That is the treasure in a field. And right there, God says, that's the tribe. That's the tribe I'm calling you to. And the reason for Christian surfers is that the King of Heaven has a deep, passionate desire for surfers to come to know and follow him. So we start with a vision, and the vision is to be a Christian presence and witness to the world surfing communities. I don't know how many of you guys remember that, but that's the vision. And then we fast forward to 2015, and in 2015, we take some time out. We get a key bunch of leaders, board members, folk leading different parts of our mission, and we go back to God, and we go, Lord, what's the plan? What's the purpose here? Why are we playing this game, and how do we win this game? And in that space, we come up with this idea that we want to share the good news of Jesus with surfers together in communities of faith, these viral little communities, these communities that are attractive, that when people connect with you at the beach, they want to connect with you, they want to go have coffee with you, they want to, even if they're on a journey towards faith. And we empower others to do the same. And we want to do this so that every single surfer and every surfing community would have multiple opportunities to both know and follow Jesus. Now, what's crazy is in this room, when we're trying to think this all through, the actual vision statement was that every surfer in every surfing community would have the opportunity to know and follow Jesus. And I want to show you the subtlety of how God works here. A couple of people put up their hand and go, that's not possible. Because in warmer cultures, Africa, Indonesian, you cannot separate a surfer from their surfing community. And suddenly as a group, we start realizing, wait, that's true. It's every surfer and every surfing community. God has called us to reach the community of people that live and serve around the beach. And so the word "and" becomes super, super powerful. And as we think through that vision, we go, well, hang on a second. There's places around the world where surfing and poverty intersect. What do we do in those places? And so out of that vision comes something called Groundswell Aid. Because part of Christian surfers is to reach every surfer and every surfing community. And we need to do something as a global Christian family of surfers to help places and create an equitable exchange where poverty and surfing intersect. There's another part of that saying. It says that surfers would both know and follow Jesus. Discipleship. So how do we disciple surfers? How are surfers discipled? Well, as Christian surfers goes further and further out, there's a beautiful story. It's in El Salvador. There's a guy named Chamba, and Chamba's son, I think, brings a whole group of young folk to kind of find Jesus. And then he takes them to a church, and the church goes, great, shave, cut your hair, change your clothes, give up surfing, see you in church on Sunday. And it's like, whoa, that's probably not going to be a very good retention strategy. I don't know how many people are going to stay with Christian surfers, And so we realize that around the world, you need a partner. We need a partner that'll be planting sandy feet-friendly churches. We need church partners, whether it's a massive church in California or a massive church in somewhere else or a tiny little church in a new part of the world. And so a partnership begins to develop between 2016 and 2018 and becomes a partner organization completely called the Surf Church Collective. So our vision is leading us down the track that we need to go. But vision is great, and our purpose statement is good, but vision has to interact with strategy. Now, strategy, if we're going to win this game, if we're in this room here, we're going to win this game, there's strategy, tactics, and goals. And I'm just going to ask Nico to come up here quickly and give us a little shout.
Thanks, mate. Guys, I haven't met some of you. Nick Gilmore, I'm part of the CSI board. So I'm here as her and Aaron were, in Exodus 17, lifting up the arms of Moses. In that analogy, you guys are Joshua, down fighting the Amalekites, right? So that's our role. And so Roy asked me to get up and to share a little bit about this. Now, I could talk for an hour and a half on this without drawing breath, but I don't want you to be there with your ears bleeding, shouting at me to stop. But in simple terms, vision is inherently prophetic. It's what you see. Close your eyes. What do you see? Close your eyes for a second with me. Just a second. That every surfer and every surfing community would have a chance to know and follow Jesus. Okay, open your eyes. That's where we're going to. It's inherently prophetic, right? So you see a vision, you have a mission, and that's a purpose statement that Roy was talking about. And we focus on strategies, organizational pillars in corporate language, that's what it's called. But we focus on these, and these are things that endure, right? And Roy, maybe you just want to say and speak out what all of our strategies are, or are you going to do that in a second after I go?
Well, we can tag team it.
Why don't you just say them all, and then you can refer back to them.
Yeah, so our big picture strategic ideas, this is where we'll get to the tactics, because they worked out differently at different stages of the whole movement. But we have two that are internal. Any surfer needs a good, strong, solid core. You cannot surf without a core. And as you get older, you're going to realize how much harder you're going to have to work to keep the core. The two core strategies for Christian surfers is discipleship and equipping. If we work on discipling people and making disciples who make disciples, and if we work on training and equipping, whether that's resources like the Surfer's Bible or just fantastic programs like Sea Salt, we will have a strong core. And then there's three external strategies, and they are to connect, to serve, and to partner. And it's those three external strategies that give us reach and context within the broader surfing world.
Love it. So did you guys get those? Did you guys hear those? So they're our strategic pillars. They're our organizational pillars, things that will endure and won't change. Strategies don't change. Tactics do. And that's where Roy's going to go. In simple terms, the best analogy that I've heard about this, the quickest way for us to understand it, is if you think about an army taking a hill, right? If that hill, that's the strategy, the tactics to get there, we're going to chop down this tree, get over this river. We're going to, work out how to do that and to cut through the forest, to come up and take the hill. So many churches and so many organizations do this. They get to the top of the hill, they plant the flag, it's great, everyone celebrates. And then they say, hang on, we should have taken that hill over there. I see that a lot. That's having the wrong strategy. Good tactics. You know how to chop the tree, do the thing, right? So what Roy is going to share about now is the tactics. Remember, the tactics change because, you're on the ground, you're seeing things change. And over the years, in a wonderful way, as Roy and the team have listened to the Lord and been led by the Spirit, our tactics have morphed and changed and shaped. And that's wonderful. But the things that are important, the values that we live by, the statement of faith that's a foundation of who we are, and our vision and our mission have not. The tactics do change. Strategies, vision, mission doesn't change.
Thanks, mate. You. Okay, so what I do want to say, and this is important, that we share the good news of Jesus with surfers. We do this together in communities, viral communities, and we empower others to do the same. And we do this so that every surfer and every surfing community would have the opportunity to. Right. We don't do this so that every surfer and every surfing community would have the opportunity to join Christian surfers. This is such a simple little thing, but 1 degree off here and we miss it. Our job is to grow the kingdom. Our job is always to grow the kingdom. And if we grow the kingdom, Christian surfers will grow because the king will bless what's growing his kingdom. So I want you just to grab hold of that before we get into some of these tactics. Now, the cool thing I want to say is when each of you as leaders take those big idea strategies home, it's your space to take those and say, well, how does that fit in my context? How does that fit in my culture? How do I disciple? How do I equip? How do I partner? Who do I serve? And who do I connect with in that space? So I thought we'd have a bit of fun at this point, seeing as though it's a Rugby World Cup. So I'm going to, in rugby, there's, you've got your forwards and you've got your back line. Who are the big rugby fans? Is, everyone like looking to, okay, so there are a couple of you, so this is going to be fun, right? So I want to know who you think are the top 5 in order from 5th to 1st packs in the current Rugby World Cup. Let's see who can get it right. I don't have a T-shirt or something to give you. The packs, the fronts, the packs, your lock, your hookers, your flanks, your 8th man, the forwards. No, the best. I'm just using what Google told me. Google rated the 5 in the current Rugby World Cup. I can make it a little bit easier. This is not in order. You have choices between New Zealand, Toulon, Ireland, England, and South Africa. Okay, South Africa is where? No. 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 No, New Zealand is. They're the top forwards, right? So it goes just because I got the 10-minute warning. It's New Zealand, Ireland, Toulon, England, and South Africa. Sorry, we are 5th. But who knows this, that as much and as fantastic as your forwards are, you do definitely need a back line. Now, who are the top 5 back lines in the current World Cup? South Africa is one of them. Yes, France is one of them. Yes, Ireland is one of them. They are one of them. Not Australia. Sorry, guys. Argentina. There we go. That is the top 5. So what's interesting for me is that Ireland is the second best bunch of forwards, and they come second as well in terms of the back line, which is probably why they rated as the number 1 team. So France is the first back line. Ireland second, South Africa third, Argentina 4th, and New Zealand 5th. Now, why I'm sharing this is because in order for us to win as Christian surfers, we need to play this game as a team. And I want each of you that are sitting here running a local mission or a country to see yourself as the forwards. But as the forwards on your own, you're never going to win. We need a back line. And the back line for me is so many of you that are out there that are not running a local mission or part of a National Christian Surfers, but are Christians who surf, who are connected with us somehow through YouTube or are planning a church or doing a mission work somewhere else. You are part of our family because from a kingdom perspective, we cannot do this without you. We need that back line. We need that support from every Christian who's out there. And one of our up-and-coming tactics is to grow to really put a massive emphasis on media, and I'll explain why. But I'm just going to take this analogy a tiny little bit further. Hey, Eugene, we have a professional ex-professional rugby player in our midst. So come up here, Eugene. Okay, 5 minutes left, so we're going to have to move. So in a rugby team, everyone knows about the forwards, everyone knows about the back line. I think it was Joe Malomo and South African guy who was the two biggest try scorers. What was his name? Brian Abana. Two biggest, hold the record. And I think, okay, I'm not going to get into the details, we don't have time. But position number 9, 10, and 15 is always forgotten about, right?
Yeah.
Who knows what position number 9? I don't have to shout it out. Position 9. Anyone know what position 9 is on the pitch? We have 1, 2, 10. Position 10. And 15, all right? So everyone's going, well, what on earth? So you have the forwards, you have the backlines, but tell me about those positions. You were a forward, I presume.
Yeah, so your forwards are usually the guys that really grind. They don't always have the best ball skills, but they just like the engine of the room, you know? They just grind, and they're not scared of the impact and the big tackles and stuff. And then, of course, you need people to finish the tries. You know, you need some people with flair and speed. And so the 9 is usually, you'll see a 9 is always he's the smallest guy, but he's the biggest ego. You know, like you think, you know, like this, you'll have Elizabeth that's this tall, and you have this 9, and he will come, and you're like he's not scared of anything. But in his mind, he's a forward, but he's still a back. But he connects the two, you know, he connects the forwards with the backs. And then you have the 10, which we always say is the general. And usually he's the captain of the team, not always, but like maybe in American terms, a quarterback, because he sees the field. He can see what's open, what play to call. And then your 15 is like last line of defense, you know, very important. But not just that, he needs to be able to see where to go into help with offense. When we attack, okay, well, that side is going to be the overlap, so I need to go there. But at the same time, if the ball gets turned around, he needs to be in the back to make sure to catch. If they kick, to catch, or if they break through, he's the last guy to tackle.
Fantastic. Thanks, mate. Okay, so your number 9, the Jack Russell in the deal is your scrum half. He is trying to get the ball out of the scrum, and he's going to hand it off to wherever it goes. And then your fly half is the one that's looking at how this all works. And I want to say, in Christian Surfers context, if the grinders, if you guys who are our greatest heroes, the stuff that you do on every single local mission chapter in all of this world are my complete and utter heroes. I love the work that is done in that space because I know how hard it is, and I know what it's like to pioneer a national movement, and I want to honor you because it's wonderful. But you're part of a team, and those national leaders and the grinders that are pushing the movement, the mission forward in a beautiful way, creating viral cultures that are blowing up in surf places, are supported by heaps of people that pray for us online or connect with you and pray for you that may look like surfers, may not look like surfers. They're supported by people that, and I might go a little over this because I've got to tell you this story. So this is the third area gathering we've had this year. The first one was in El Salvador. And I'm in El Salvador, I'm in an area gathering just like this one, and someone's up front, and they're talking about the dream to get a new mission going in Colombia. There's a young couple that are heading out there to Colombia, and we're excited because we've got a contact for the first time that's going to be taking the gospel or taking Christian surfers into Colombia. The next day, I'm surfing. The Ginger Vicar has loaned me this rash vest with a hood on it because it's so hot there. I get drilled by this wave, and the thing wraps over my face, and I nearly drown. So I'm like, I'm not going to do this. So I go in, I take it off, and the only thing I have in the car is a Christian Surfers t-shirt. So I whip on my Christian Surfers t-shirt. I paddle out at this really epic right-hand point break, which is not like J-Bay, sorry, but it's called Ponte Roca. It is 100% a world-class wave, but they're just different. And I might be biased, I don't know. So anyway, I paddle out, and this guy starts like chatting to me. And I'm trying to understand him because he's speaking Spanish. And he goes, Christian surfers, I love Christian surfers. And I'm like, how do you know Christian surfers? And he says, I follow you on Instagram. Right? So I say, well, where are you from? Colombia. And like, I think we've got to see how God kind of goes ahead of us in these tactics. But, okay, to try and get it done in 1 minute. So the important thing is that if I had to look at positions 9, 10, and 15, for me, what that represents is our back office staff team. And it's the stuff that you don't see. There's Mel, there's Kyle, there's Marnie, there's Reese. There's so many people that are in that little position. We're trying to get the ball out of the scrum. We're trying to create resources. We're trying to flick it off to which side of the line. And then for me, there's another group, and it's the board. It's the CSI board that does so much work, and so much of the prayer and connecting, flies all over the world to come to face-to-face meetings once a year. And I want to honor you guys, because I think you play such a pivotal role. And the thing that I love about the fullback is it's both defense and attack. So it's making sure that we don't blow it. It's making sure that people are cared for. It's making sure that we are cognitive of what our finances are doing. But it's also aware of what opportunities lie ahead when there's a gap, and how that ball can be moved back up the field to give us a new advantage. So for me, that's where the analogy ends. And just quickly, I want to then go into some of the tactics. So where we're pivoting to, we've taken the vision of every surf and every surfing community, and we've said, what happens if we take that vision and we pull it forward to a specific date? That specific date is 2030. It's 7 years away. And then what if we look at that specific date and we go, Lord, we're going to go for something that seems almost impossible. It has to be, if we can set ourselves a vision that's possible, it's not a God vision. It just isn't. So it has to be impossible. And we want to achieve the impossible vision of growing from 33 countries to 100. We want to set ourselves the impossible vision of growing from 175 local communities of faith to 1,000. And this is also a very significant one. We want to connect with an online digital world. Everyone lives online. And we want to be in contact regularly with 400 to 600,000 surfers on a regular basis. What we've done so far, we've started Bible reading plans on YouVersion. 17,000 people have downloaded those Bible reading plans. 11,000 people have completed them. The YouTube channel has been made available to all of you. Everyone can use that YouTube channel. We've created a digital cohort, because across all of your nations, there's people that are doing digital work, and we're wanting to put that stuff up on the digital channel. We are looking at all of these strategies. We've created a user journey. How do we find and connect with a surfer? How many hundreds of thousands of surfers that are out there right now can be activated and empowered for mission in their context? Because this is how we will achieve the vision. And one of the things that is spearheading us forward is the Surfer's Bible. The Surfer's Bible project is an idea to create a beautiful Bible that's linked to a digital platform. And with that, I'm handing over to Reese, or not.
Almost.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Phil.